said, ancestor said, that's the man. And then he showed another one with a woman without the beard and said, that's the goddess. But I've checked all of the pyramid texts and all of those things, and I've never ever seen it written that way. It's always the Netta, and if it's Netaru, they have three poles with the fabric on it. Okay, because these poles represent, not only does it represent the Great Mother, it is a whole lot of stuff that it represents as well. Now this arm is the individualization of the Netta. Now I put this square here to show you that when you take the arm, the individualization, and place it with the Netta, what you're actually seeing is the fundamental basis of the Great Mother, which is a cube. Okay, that is a cube because you have the square here. This is a square. When you look at the dimensions of the arm here, you have what is a square. Okay, everybody cool with that? Or should I explain it more? Okay, now, this is a phenomenon that takes place because of dark energy and dark matter. Although, hypothetically, you cannot see it that way. But because of the dark energy and dark matter, we get these configurations throughout the universe. And what you will have from this square is a hole. They call it the dark black holes in the universe. Because of this energy pulling this way, one attracting this way, you have that balance that creates the square. So, we're getting into the fundamental ideal of nectar on a grander scale in the universe. Now, from this here, the polyhedron is created from that pulling and pushing and the condensing of dark energy and dark matter. Okay? Now, this is what the ancestors was calling the cosmic egg. In pre-dynastic times, before there were any deities in the Nile Valley, you had the golden goose. You had the bird goddess. The bird goddess gave birth to the cosmic egg, or what they call the goose that cackles, the great cackler. Although the male patriarchy has changed the gander, the cackle to a gander, a male. But everybody should know that male ganders don't cackle. Only the female when she is laying the egg. So this is the ideal of what the ancestors are talking about as nectar. Right? Because the nectar is the formation of a square. It's a cube. Okay? And I can give you some references on that. You can go and the Temple of Man. I can't remember the guy's name, but this is one of the fundamental ideals of what nectar is. Now, let's go back. So, the cosmic egg, and I threw this in here to even show you the ideal of the Kaaba. Because the Kaaba was there thousands of years before any Islamic people came on the planet. There was no Islam when our ancestors from Kush came over, crossed the Red Sea, and went there and built this up. They were worshiping the Great Mother, and this is a symbol of the Great Mother. It's a symbol because the blackness, when they put the fold over there, the dark energy and the dark matter, which forms the cube, and you see right here, that's a moon, giving you some understanding that they are worshiping the Great Mother. And what you see right here is the yoni, which is this right here. The yoni, which gives birth to the cosmic egg. So again, what I'm trying to show you is that nectar, dark energy, dark matter, the square, the cube, polyhedron, the cosmic egg. So I'm giving you an idea of how our ancestors had understanding of the cosmology of the Great Mother. The reason a lot of time we don't see this information is because, again, the male patriarchy began to change the cosmology. And it was Africans that did it. They were the first ones to subjugate the woman. They did it in Egypt. During the 18th dynasty, the priesthood of Amen and the clans of Horus were the first people on the earth to forsake Mama. And this, in my opinion, is the reason why we're in the trouble that we're in. We have to repent, go back, and return back to Mother. If we don't return to Mother, we will perish along with the coming of the Great Mother and the destruction of the white male patriarchy. And Kali, again, she does not care if you're black, white, or candy stripe. If you're not right with Mama, you are going to be destroyed when Kali does her destroying. And so when they're talking about the 2012 and the paradigm shifting, this is what they're talking about. The age of Aquarius is the age of the Great Mother. Go back to Dendora, look upon that ceiling, and you will see that Aquarius is a woman, not a man. Okay? And that water is dealing with the birth cycle. You see? Okay. So, now, out of that square, this is what it gives creation to. The cosmic egg, they come out as light. These are stars. Stars are born out of the darkness of the womb of space. Okay? This is an actual occurrence of a star coming into existence. The sun, the moon, the planets, all of them are shaped, not a round circle, but they are shaped like eggs. All of it is shaped like an egg. Okay? Here's the myth that we're talking about. In the Egyptian myth, the generation of the primordial egg takes place in what is known as the time of non-being. The sublime goose appears among the imperishable stars, cleaving the night sky with her great wings. While the world is still flooded by silence, the voice of the great Kakala breaks the stillness, and she lays the egg containing the germs of life. Priestly reinterpretations turned the great Kakala into a gander. However, it is clearly the female who cackles at the laying of an egg. Thus, the first Egyptian myths denote an original goddess creatrix. From her egg bursts forth a bird of celestial light. Okay? And there she is. This is pre-dynastic. This is before the gods and goddesses of Egypt. This is her. The bird goddess. Okay? The Great Mother. The primordial egg laid by a sacred bird in the watery abyss contains the germs of life and typifies the universal creation story. The cosmic matter from which the universe is formed comes from the various parts of the primordial egg. The precise details have been lost due to the change in religious orientation. Some Egyptian texts maintain that the primordial egg is formed by 8 creatures, male and female, with heads of frogs and snakes who swim in the waters of nothingness. Invisible because this Genesis takes place before the illumination of the world. So, those that are talking about Ptah, Atum is the creator of the universe are wrong. Ptah is not the creator of the universe. Ptah is the great representation of the mother. And I'll show you. In the languages of the Proto-Semitic languages, Hebrew and Arabic, they are cousins. And certain words have interchangeable letters. If you look at the Quran, the first surah of the Quran is Al-Fatiha. If you take away the A and the I, you'll have the word Fatah. The P and the F are interchangeable in those languages. So Fatah becomes Ptah, the opening. Ptah is the only god, male god with a womb. He has a womb around his neck. And he is known as the representation of a male mother. So there is no male that can give birth to a universe without a womb. You see? This is why when they change the cosmologies, you have men bent over backwards with long penises ingesting the semen in his own mouth. This is the divisiveness of the priesthood of our men who changed the cosmology to reflect the male rule as opposed to the mother. Because the first power system was spiritual, economics, right, and religious. Thank you. Right? But the men couldn't get around the law of the land. The law of the land said, in order to be king, it has to come from a mother. You see? But the women had the spiritual and economic power in those days and times. Women never seek to oppress the men. It's wrong to think that matriarchy is the opposite of patriarchy. That is far from the truth. Women never seek to oppress men. It was a great balance, because you have in life and all of the species 8 billion 4 million entities on the earth. You have more female entities than there are males, and there are some species with no males at all, just females. And even in the human kingdom, there's always more females than there are men. So the great mother, and here's another lie, Imhotep was the first doctor. Garbage. Imhotep was not the first doctor. The first doctors were women, because they were the foragers who went around learning of the different properties of the plants. She was your first healer. She created the system of voodoo. And voodoo is your connection to the universe. It is your connection to Mother Nature. It is your connection to all of the different subtleties and different powers of the mother. Only a mother has the food in her body to feed her offspring. Man cannot do that. Although we do have mammary glands, which I'm going to show, most of the time they don't work. In some cases they do. So, okay. Now, the aura, this is the aura around the human body. What I'm going to do is just show you some patterns. Right? Man and woman is a pattern. Just like you have waves on the ocean. Those are patterns. But you don't see what's causing the pattern. It's the wind. But what creates the wind? Because the wind is also a pattern. These are patterns of nature. Around the body, the aura is an electromagnetic field that surrounds the human body and every organism and object in the universe. Every organism and object in the universe has an aura. This auric egg emanates out from the body approximately 2 to 3 feet, 1 meter on average, on all sides. It extends above the head and below the feet into the ground. And depending upon your intuitiveness or the way you return back to your cosmic energy through meditation, pranayama, tantra, your aura can get bigger and bigger. It can go out 17 feet, 17 miles, I believe it is. It'll look like a spaceship. Okay, that's what they was calling what's the name of that? The Macabre. Okay, so what I'm just trying to show you is, again, in the subtle realm, again, there's that egg shape that we're talking about, the cosmic egg. Now, Mother Earth is also an egg. Introducing the oblate spheroid. Yes, the Earth is not shaped like a circle, but is shaped like an oblate spheroid. An oblate spheroid is rationally symmetric ellipsoid having a popular axis shorter than the diameter of the equatorial